Oh, hi!
I was wondering if you were still here.
Oh, no, I checked out a long time ago.
I get it. Everybody in my life has.
Yeah.
I'm not going down that route. Shut up. You shut up too.
Okay.
Everything's fine. It's a Taco Tuesday. It's a happy time.
Right. I'm wearing a
Stop being
taco
depressing,
shirt.
you asshole. Oh, you are.
It just says tacos, 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 tacos.
Indeed.
I like the part where it says tacos.
Which one?
The red one.
I like the fourth one down. Yeah.
Or from the bottom. Who says fourth from the bottom? Get out of here.
Yeah, that would be the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fourth one. I like the fourth one.
Okay.
Because it's like the third one is filled in.
Right.
And the rest of them are just outlined like bubble letters. So it's like bubble letter, filled in, bubble letter.
Right.
So like that fourth one is like, oh, we're doing this now? No, not me. Yeah. We're going back. So like,
it's like
the third one's the renegade, but the fourth one's the
Yeah.
renegade to the renegade.
the fourth one's like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it's like, fuck you, I'm too cool for this. So that one's obviously the coolest.
So after you've had your tacos, it's like, yeah, by the way, it's still tacos.
Yeah, and then the bottom one is like tacos, and that's when you're like on the toilet after. Why did I do this to myself?
The fifth one is like, oh my god, there's only one left, and I'm so full I'm about to puke, but I can't just leave one.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
You're cursing the taco name, but then the next day you're ready for tacos.
I obviously have to have a picture of me in the shirt now.
Yeah, I feel like I described it quite well.
That's
Everyone
true.
knows exactly what it looks like. Nah, you just take you like a boudoir set of you in just that
Just a shirt.
Yeah. Just like pulling it down.
Oh, jeez, and looking cheeky.
Yeah.
Back at the camera.
Like sitting on your knees on the end of the bed. And, yeah.
I'm not gonna do that.
Oh.
But I am.
This is the worst Tuesday ever.
I'm gonna read. I've apparently already read this because it looks blue.
Yeah. Well, this is why we missed last time. Because I was here to record.
That's right. We
and then
loaded
I had
this.
To leave. Yeah.
We loaded this, and then
there
nothing
was an
happened.
Emergency, and I had to leave, so we didn't actually, get an episode made.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Okay. So we read like some of this.
Yeah. I mean, I think just this. I think the screen was loaded.
Yeah, I don't remember. I feel like we did like 2 or 3 lines maybe, and then I got the call. I was like, yeah, you need to go deal with this.
I got the call. I had been drafted by the Indianapolis Colts.
I don't think they'd take me.
Okay. I'm heading out to my part-time job. I'll try not to get curse-bloated this time. Good. Give 'em hell, kid.
I guess we didn't read anything.
Before long, it's 8 o'clock. In the morning, probably. And Makina's setting off for her shift at the bakery.
Yeah, obviously. He would do military time. He's one of those losers.
That's true, he does say that. Watching the girl march triumphantly out the room, her prototype M8i2 safely stowed in a plastic bag, I nod deeply to myself. Alright then, I guess I should be get going as well. I gotta get going.
You're get going somewhere too?
Yeah, I'm working today myself. Even as I'm speaking, I quickly slip into one of my work uniforms and then swing a bag full of tools over my shoulder.
When do you think you'll be getting back?
Well, let's see. 5:30 or so, as long as nothing comes up.
So, pretty much the same as Makina then. You two are definitely banging. Or you should be, since everyone just assumes you are anyway.
Yeah, she wants you to.
Of course she does. She wants everybody to be banging. She's me. I'll have dinner ready and waiting, so give me a call if you're gonna be late, okay?
Will do. Alright then, I'll be on my way. I better get going.
Yep, see you later.
I suppose it still qualifies as a part-time job, but it's different from the normal routine. Today I'm working as Makina's bodyguard. I received a full 70 million in advance payment on this one, so I can't exactly treat it like a game. That sort of money warrants a serious approach and professional attitude.
Someone walks up to her, is like, I would like to buy a loaf of bread. You just step in between them wearing sunglasses. Get the fuck out of here.
Stepping out of the school gate, I casually turned my head to glance in the direction of the shopping district, immediately spotting Makina in the distance. After confirming that there aren't any suspicious cars stopped in the area, I start walking after her on the opposite side of the street. So she doesn't know that he's following.
Yeah, what happens, like, if someone else is like, there's some weird man following this young girl?
Yeah. There'd hardly be any point to tagging right along after the girl. Easier and less conspicuous just to walk her down to the station in the first place. But I do have my reasons for taking a more furtive approach. I always thought it was furtive. Furtive?
I thought there were two T's. I thought it was furtive.
I thought there was an I before it. Furtive. But apparently not. Furtive.
Furtive. I don't know. I don't know words. You think I know English?
I'm pretty good
You've
at
heard
it.
me talk.
First of all, I better do get going.
Exactly.
I don't want Makina to be aware that I'm guarding her. If she knows that I'm protecting her, that knowledge would start to influence her actions in revealing ways. Even if I told her to try and act normally, an awkward movement would give it away sooner or later, tipping off anyone who might be observing. Okay, act natural.
Would it be safer? Would it be
What are you
safer
doing?
for? Would it be safer in her in the long run to, like, to give off an air of being protected so she doesn't get fucked with?
Yeah.
Or is he actively using her as bait
So he can
to find out who's after
well,
her?
maybe that's his reasons.
That seems ill-advised.
Trying to draw him out
But you know, everything he does is the right
with lollies.
way to do things. I mean, that's how we got our fucking fan base.
If the enemy realizes Makina has a bodyguard, they'll change their tactics accordingly. Yeah, there you go. That's what he's wanting.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't be much fun from my perspective. Gotta be fun. There's gotta be danger.
I want her to almost die so my day isn't boring.
The ideal is to keep both Makina and anyone targeting her ignorant of my presence. Therefore, after following her from a good distance for a while, I begin cutting quickly through side streets to get ahead of her. If I was targeting Makina, I'd spend 7 days at the very least on observation, trying to get a solid grasp for her daily patterns of behavior. Before making any attempt, I'd compile the most detailed possible data I could find on her walking speed, route, and typical itinerary. Sniper, kidnapper, whatever. Any pro would do the same.
Yeah, I base all my decisions with women around what a kidnapper would do.
In fact, I spent some time this morning putting myself in the shoes of an assassin.
That's your shoes. That's literally you're an assassin.
So I strapped on my Nikes and got the hell. I do be getting out of here.
I was gonna say, like, I'm gonna put myself in the shoes of an assassin. I'm done.
Narrowing down some potential sniping points. I devised and evaluated a few plausible spots, simulating attempts at shooting Makina on her way to and from the bakery, but as the target, the girl's genuinely troublesome. She bobs and weaves incoherently. Serpentine.
All these anime girls look exactly the same.
First of all, she's a shrimp. Makes for a small target, more easily obstructed, smaller hitbox.
Well, that's good for you.
Yeah. Secondly, her actions are frequently hard to anticipate. If the girl comes across some hostess out walking a cute little doggy, she'll without a doubt stop dead and hold a lengthy conversation with the animal. Well, that would make it easier for her to shoot.
Yeah, what is she's gonna get home and be like, you're really hard to assassinate. We should work on that.
On top of it all, there's that fundamentally whimsical personality. If she needs to make 3 turns to her destination, she'll randomly change the road she uses, so it's hard to nail down an exact route. Maybe she's doing that on purpose.
I was gonna say, maybe she was a very powerful, like, person.
Yeah.
Maybe she was trained to fucking avoid certain things, like you.
Taking all those negatives into account, there are 2 spots that seem potentially effective. I take out a hand-drawn map from the pocket of my school uniform. It's a detailed sketch of the terrain with a decent radius of the station, with 2 lines connecting hypothetical sniping spots and impact points. The first potentially effective choice is a shot from on top of the pedestrian bridge over the East Beach Line rail track, which provides a good view of the main shopping district area.
I hate harping on this. He's really focused on the idea that someone would try to take a sniper rifle to her.
Right.
Her sister was in a car explosion.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't they just do that? They just follow her to her work and then
they
plant a bomb in a cupcake.
They don't seem to be too focused on being, like,
They're not trying to be
silent
stealthy
and...
about it, yeah.
Yeah, they literally almost got a 2-for-1 special with their explosion.
Right.
There's practically no cover to worry about, and the distance would only be about 300 meters, on top of which you'd be hitting the girl from behind,
Hell yeah.
making it easier to line up the shot. Problem is, you'd stand out too much. If you openly set up shop with a rifle up there, even a dim-witted grade schooler would point and yell, "Look, Mommy, he's an assassin!" Considering the risk of exposure, you'd probably have to snipe from under the canopy of a parked truck, but that'd limit your angle of fire severely, making it easy to lose track of the target in a crowd. Not too appetizing.
I guess they just use a bomb.
But you know what is appetizing? That buy one, get one free special going on, the Japanese Sbarro.
Ooh.
I do take a look just for safety's sake, but there don't seem to be any suspicious idling cars in the area I mark as suitable for sniping. Snipers need time to prepare. It's not like they're going to tear up, fire a shot from the window, and then peel out. Probably safe to conclude no one's shooting from there today, unless you're playing Halo or something.
Why don't they just do a drive-by then? It's a little girl, just drive. You got a handgun, just drive, boom, leave.
But there's also the second possibility, a shot from the 8th floor of the parking garage south of Mishima Cape Station, next to the fashion building currently under construction.
She gets shot, and he's like, "I'm sorry, that was from the 7th floor.
I never would have
had
thought."
no idea. This guy's good."
The structure itself isn't open to the public yet, so entry is restricted. In other words, once you slip in, you'll be able to spread out a pretty sizable shop without any awkward questions from passers-by. Also, since it's a downward angle, you should get a clean line of sight. The target's short stature won't be nearly so much of an issue. However, the shot would require firing between two buildings, obstructed by an elevated park in the Mishima Cape Station itself. No matter where you position yourself, you're not going to get even a 2-meter slice of visibility.
They would have to curve the bullet like my favorite James McAvoy movie, Wanted. I don't remember his name. Is that his name?
Sure. I know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
but yeah. He's going to get, so into this, fake scenario that he's building up in his head that he's, going to get confused and think that he's the assassin and accidentally shoot her.
Cut to 20 minutes from now, he's like, "Yeah, that's definitely how they do it." And he just walks up. "Yeah, she's been dead for 20 minutes.
You shot her. What's more, you'd be firing at Makina from the side as she walks past from a range of 600 meters. That's probably a long distance. If you take the time to identify the girl...
We're American. How far is that in football fields?
It's 2, right? I don't know. 300 meters?
I have no idea.
Is a meter... Yeah, it's close. If you take the time to identify the girl after she enters your field of view, she'll have walked right by before you can get a bullet over there. In other words, you've got one chance and you've got one opportunity. And it only lasts a few seconds. Can't see it working without a cooperator following the target, constantly keeping you up to date on her movements.
So that's what I'm doing.
So any Hoosers.
Yeah. That was pertinent information for all of us to have.
So anyways, I did go to the Sbarro.
Obviously, it's the only place.
Stopping just before an intersection that connects my side street to the main road, I peered down at the map in my hand, play acting a blue-collar worker new to the area.
Yes, this is the business place.
And while glancing around as if to search for landmarks, I spot Makina approaching from the left. Oh shit! Keeping the brim of my plain workman's cap low over my eyes, I proceed to gaze in her general direction, not focusing on anything in particular. When you start deliberately darting your eyes around looking for suspicious people, you tend to get tunnel vision. Actually end up missing more than you would otherwise.
It's like when you're trying to find a fly in your house.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to look around. You just unfocus your eyes, and then your eyes will lock to the movement.
Oh. I usually just listen for the sound.
Well, you can always hear them.
They'll bump into windows a lot.
That's true.
On the other hand, when you take in the scene as a whole, like you're approaching and appreciating a work of art, people moving in unusual ways will stand out as if painted in vivid hues. Right now, we're near the very tail end of the morning rush to work. There aren't many people on the streets. Among the sparse crowd, one man quickly catches my eye. He's strolling along behind Maki. Oh, that's me.
Oh, it was just two other blue-collar workers carrying a large mirror in between us.
shooting her regular glances while putting on a great show of casually looking around the area. Complete amateur any way you look at him.
It's just some random guy who has a crush on her.
The tale's comically awful. I've seen love-struck... It's them damn furries again.
Right?
I've seen love-struck middle schoolers stalking their crushes with more subtlety.
They have the tails that move on their own now? Like mechanical ones?
Yeah.
It's like, that's so fucking cool. But I don't have no use for it.
At a glance, the guy seems to be in his late 20s or early 30s. He's wearing a 3,000 yen pair of loafers and a 2 for 30,000 suit. He's also got on a pair of eyeglasses with unusually thick black rims.
What's wrong with that?
Perhaps as an attempt at disguise, but counterproductively, they make him stand out in the crowd.
Hell yeah, they do.
That was the point.
Yeah.
It's
so he could do the anime thing where he pushes them up and you don't see his eyes. They're just like lens flares or whatever.
Whenever he says something serious.
Yeah,
or
that was my plan all along.
I could almost just leave this be. Not like he's going to get anything worthwhile. But even so, I'd like to know who this kid belongs to. Who is this kid? It's like a 2-year-old at his feet.
Wait, how long have you been following me? You're good at this.
Folding the map into a neat square and putting it away in my chest pocket, I casually step into a nearby Busky Robinson ice cream store with 52 flavors.
I was gonna that like really you can't come up with something better than Busky Robinson. Hello, I'm Busky Robinson. I'm here to tell you about diabetes.
Sounds like, I don't know, like Smokey the Bear type character.
Yeah, or like
Busky
the
Robinson.
main character of some weird survival book that you were forced to read in 5th grade.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting, like a survival vibe.
No, it's not even the main character of the book. It's the character, the fictional character that the fictional main character of that survival book idolizes.
Yeah.
It's like, I've got to do this just like my favorite adventurer, Busky Robinson.
August 12th, 8:15 a.m., beginning surveillance of target, recorder Ihara Naoyuki. Muttering into the mic of an IC recorder set up in the inside pocket of his jacket, Ihara followed the girl from behind with his eyes. Oh, that's a different person.
Yeah. I think it's the guy with the glasses.
The guy with the glasses? Okay.
That he's pegged.
For crying out loud, why did it turn out like this? It had been 1.5 years since Ihara resigned his previous position in a security company and took a job at the IG's detective agency through a friend's recommendation. Detective work had appealed strongly to Ihara since childhood. He did, of course, understand by now that a real Flatfoot's job wasn't the hard-boiled stuff from the stories. But changing the title of his business card from guard to investigator proved too tempting to pass up. They had a deal at Kinko's. However, even after 3 long months of training, he was relegated to sorting raw material, processing documents, and other desk work.
He had to get the bagels.
And the rare field work that trickled down to him tended to be odd jobs like investigating adultery or searching for lost pets. He'd spent the better part of a year
waiting. My God, my wife is sleeping with my dog!
That's where Rover went!
It all connects!
He'd spent the better part of a year waiting unhappily for a chance to flex his muscles a little. Just as he was starting to feel something like a regret at ditching the security guard position, a senior employee abruptly stopped by and said, "Chief wants to see you. Get a move on. Your clothes are fine as they are."
I really don't understand why he commented on my clothes, but that makes me think that they're not fine.
Ihara's first reaction had been to tilt his head in confusion and try to remember if he'd screwed anything up lately. But then the man leaned down and whispered, "Seems like you're getting a pretty important job."
He was talking about the blowjob he was receiving under the desk. That's what it meant by investigating adultery.
Uh-huh.
He finishes like, yes, you're an adulterer.
This is adultery. He'd honestly been pretty damn excited for the chance to get some real work. Thrilled even until he learned the important job amounted to stalking a little girl. More than a bit of a letdown. Are you sure I'm not going to, get arrested for this?
Is he a cop? Said he was an investigator.
Investigator, yeah.
It's a security company. So I don't think they're the assassins, but Doofus is gonna think he's an assassin when he's actually hired to also
Maybe.
protect her.
Yeah. That said, this Irisu Makina kid, currently tromping along the sidewalk 8 meters or so ahead of him, was certainly keeping Ihara on his toes. No, look at this puppy! The girl was constantly glancing around the area as she walked, and if something caught her eye, she'd often come to an abrupt and total halt. Keeping a constant distance was proving very difficult, and even worse, she seemed to have a habit of glancing briefly behind her every time she turned a corner, never failing to startle him.
If only it was like video games where you have to tail someone and it's like there's all this waist-high cover to hide behind and a meter to show you how much they see you.
Oh, I guess it was nothing.
Arrow sticking out of their head. Must have been the wind.
It almost seemed like she might just have a terrible sense of direction. That constantly moving gaze could be her memorizing the area, and turning around might be an attempt to imagine the trip back home ahead of time. But according to the documents, Irisu Makina had been living in this city for nearly a year. It was hard to imagine getting lost would be a big issue at this point.
Well,
Was she simply one of those ADHD kids, or what? If you looked at her behavior as deliberate acts of caution, you could almost see her as a well-trained spy. But that'd be crazy talk. Ihara knew he was probably deluding himself on that one. Just some part of him trying to make this more interesting than it really was. In reality, Irisu Makina didn't project the fierce predatory menace of a trained agent. If anything, she looked more like a nervous little chipmunk, fearful of anything around her.
that's so cute. Look at your cute little cheeks. Little chipmunk. Mew mew.
No. Oh. Oops.
I said that out loud. Damn it.
Yeah, the girl had come to a sudden stop. She seemed to be peering into the LCD screen of a small electronic toy tied to her belt. Unless he was careful, Ihara was going to overtake her. He knew the girl's destination, so it would still be possible to resume surveillance even after passing her, but for now he wanted to keep observing from behind.
I'm sure he did.
Ihara slowed his pace a little, then reached into his inner jacket pocket and pretended to search for his cell phone. I also have a Tamagotchi. What are you doing? Hurry up and get walking. At this rate, he was going to walk right on by her. It'd be hard to stay out of the target's field of vision much longer. At this point, maybe abandoning the surveillance outright would be best. It would be easy enough to take his phone, check his mail, and then abruptly turn around as if called back on some urgent errand. What do I do? Time to call it a day. Shit, she totally fucking sees me. 5 meters from his target, Ihara decided to make up his mind one way or the other within the next 2 meters. But as he continued his slow approach, Irisu Makina suddenly looked up from the toy at her waist and then broke into a pattering run. Damn it. She's completely unpredictable. What now? Run after her? Oh, question? I mean, I guess it could also be that voice. He knew the girl was headed to her bakery, so it probably wasn't strictly necessary. But there wasn't much point in the surveillance mission if he couldn't keep her in his sight. I guess I could pretend to be worried about the time. Oh my, but look at the time. Looking down at his watch, Ihara jerked with feigned surprise and started to break into a run. But with his very first step, an unexpected impact brought him to an abrupt halt. Oh, whoops. I thought it said Labrador. I was like, wait a minute.
This one is banging my wife.
You can be the laborer, I guess.
I bet it's Yuji.
You think?
Yeah, he was wearing a costume.
Ah, sorry. A man in a pea green work uniform had suddenly stepped out from a side street directly into Ihara's path. The Labrador was wearing a cap of the same color,
Yeah, it's Yuji.
low over his eyes. In his left hand, he was holding a piece of paper that looked like a crude map. Very sorry, are you okay? Whoa. The man bowed his head apologetically, must have been looking at the map as he walked. Judging from his awkward Japanese, he probably wasn't from around here. For some reason, there was a timid half smile on his face. When Ihara followed the man's gaze down, he couldn't help shouting out loud. Ah! And then jamming out a weird chord on the nearby piano. The breast of his suit was covered in thick gobs of ice cream. When he took another look, Ihara realized the man was holding a half-eaten cone in his other hand. Did he eat the cone?
No wonder he dropped it. He had nothing to hold it with.
Looked like one of those Pat Pong shower numbers from that Busky Robinson place the kids were going to these days. Sorry. Guo binda bayao. Speaking cryptic words in a remorseful tone of voice, the man started rubbing at Ihara's suit with his bare hands. Oh, hey, don't spread it around. You're just making it even dirtier. Forget about it. Stop.
Oh, it's so dirty.
Oh. Apaini? Dari monotone? Hey, I'm telling you to stop. Don't touch me, alright? It's fine. Get lost. This is not good. Gathering this much attention on a tailing job was a huge blunder. While warding off the man persistently trying to clean his suit, Ihara hurriedly turned his head in search of Mirisu Makina. But the girl was already gone. At least he hadn't been outright discovered by the subject of his surveillance. But continuing to tail her after this would be very difficult. It'd probably be best to withdraw for the moment, and then resume shadowing the girl after she finished at her part-time job. Will you get lost already? Are you some kind of illegal or what?
Rude.
The man visibly flinched at the word illegal. Finally, abandoning his inept attempt at brushing off Ihara's clothing, he pulled his cap down even lower over his eyes. Jas. And with that parting remark, the man in the work uniform beat a hasty retreat. What's with that guy? Hard to pin down his nationality even. Fresh off the boat from Vietnam? Maybe the Philippines or something? Whatever the case, things just hadn't worked out today. Ihara reached inside his jacket to switch off his ick recorder, and in the next instant, he let out another reflexive shout. Ah! The slim metal recorder that had been in his interior pocket was gone. When Ihara moved his hand to the opposite pocket, the cell phone he'd left there was also missing. Disbelieving, he'd reached in the rear pocket of his pants to discover even his wallet had vanished. Oh, that bastard! He quickly spun around, but the suspicious foreign laborer had completely disappeared. You're kidding, right? Now Yuki Ihara fought a powerful urge to lie down on the sidewalk and curl up into a ball. I'm gonna get fired.
Yeah.
Die. Dai Sukio.
Right.
Dai Makaro. In a narrow, dim alleyway, 2 streets removed from the station plaza, a laborer was sitting on a stack of beer cases, humming the Lightspeed General Dai Makarov theme song to himself. All the while looking through the contents of a wallet, the fruits of his day's labors. It's okay, you can herm. We know who you are.
Yeah.
There were 17,000 yen in bills inside. Shit, I'm a felon now.
Oh my god.
A small purse had another 657 in coins. Not a big haul by any means, but nothing to turn up your nose at. Inside the card sleeve, there was an ATM card from a bank, a credit card, patient registration ticket from a dentist, proof of membership at a video rental shop, and a driver's license for standard cars.
What's a video rental shop?
With a gold stripe. Other than that, we've got 20 convenience store coupons. Considering he's walking around with them, doesn't look like they get used too often. I mean, can't you only use them once?
Unless they're like a punch card thing.
That's true. Methodical, but a little too much pride for his own good. The back of the dentist's ticket revealed that its owner last visited only a half year ago. The man must have been going for regular checkups to have tartar scraped off of what have you. Definitely the methodical type. Ihara Naoyuki-san. Naturally, the back of the driver's license was unblemished by violations. It was a genuine gold license. The man snapped open a small aluminum case he'd swiped along with the wallet, finding the inside full of business cards. An Iggs kid, huh? I see.
Hey, what are you doing in there?
The man in the work uniform knew that voice all too well. And this wasn't his first time he'd been rendered half blind by that overly bright flashlight, either. Softly clicking his tongue, he got to his feet.
Oh, come on, you get what I'm saying? Apparently we taught this is the guy from the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
That pulls him over, but I don't remember what his voice was. Can you cut me break here already?
It's not like I did anything this time, you know.
So what's with the get-up? Finally get kicked out of school and enter in the working world?
I'm a working student. This is a uniform of my part-time job.
Some smells about this.
That's the ice cream.
What were you doing back there?
Not much. Happened to find a wallet over there, so I was looking it over to see if I could return it to its owner.
Really now? You didn't just snatch that, did you?
I'm being a good Samaritan here, you know. Here, this is the wallet.
Alright, looks like the money's still inside. I mean, I didn't know how much was in it when you found it, so you could have taken some. Didn't pocket any for yourself, did you?
I'm not desperate enough to steal other people's money. I work for my food, as you can see.
I see. Yeah, just a joke. Sorry.
More importantly, it seems like the owner had some business cards in there.
Huh? Oh. There they are. Let's see here. Iggs Detective Agency Investigator Ihara Naoki, huh?
A detective, huh? Guessing from the contents of his wallet, it doesn't look like that lucrative of a profession.
What, you looked inside?
Well, yeah, of course. Not a crime now?
Not really, but...
Iggs Detective Company, eh? The Iizuka General Security Private Investigative Agency, right? Wasn't that Iizuka Satoru's guy who runs in the Sakuradaman alum? Alum?
I don't know what the fuck you just said. You're well informed.
The name's pretty famous, that's all. Oh, but I did hear they dabble in some behind-the-scenes political jobs as well. Any truth to that?
How the fuck would I know? In any case, I'll take care of this wallet. Come with me to the neighborhood station.
Again? Your boss isn't going to get too happy if you drag me back in.
Maybe so.
Give you this ice cream coupon?
Yes. Okay, have a good day. This is bribery, but I don't care. But it's standard procedure to register the founder's full name and contact address.
Why not just say you're the one who found it?
Because I'm not a liar.
Even if you write my name down, Ichigai is just going to have the paper torn up. You'd only be making trouble for yourself.
I don't know.
Okay, here, give me that wallet for a minute.
Are you going to bribe me with someone else's money? What are you going to do?
I'm going to drop it on the ground, and then you're going to pick it up. That way you won't be falsifying your documents.
Fine, whatever. I'll say I found the damn thing.
Why not at least pretend to pick it up?
I got back problems. Yeah, what's this? Someone seems to have dropped a wallet here. Satisfied now?
No, more gusto.
Oh my good gracious! It's a wallet on the ground and I have picked it up. How lucky that me, a policeman, has done this.
Perfect. He's just like crying. Beautiful.
Oh, poor Horatio. I knew his wallet well.
Good job. Oh, while we're at it, take these too.
A cell phone? And what's this say?
It's a voice recorder. Unfortunately, somebody or other
I'm sorry, am I boring you?
Cleared the memory. It was just lying here with the wallet.
It's just a talk boy. Hey, you really...
It's a yak bag.
Oh my god, I haven't thought about those in a long time. Hey, you really didn't steal this stuff, did you?
Or it's just a parrot that talks to you. Ugh. The parrot toy, I mean, not an actual parrot. Oh my god! Oh, my butt. Okay.
You okay?
No.
Need some rubs?
Maybe.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Word of advice. Don't ask any more questions. I'm willing to bet your life's going to go a lot smoother that way.
It's so funny, too, because there was like a tiny bit of a cut that there could have been a gap where I rubbed your butt for you. But that didn't happen.
My butt has remained unrubbed.
Unfortunately. True, higher-ups told me to put up with you. But the thing is, Kazami-san, I didn't become a police officer to look the other way when someone commits a crime, you know.
I'm not saying that you should. You have my word. I'm not looking to make you complicit in any evil doing on my part.
Kazami-san, buddy, you really are a giant pain in the ass. But I love you.
Perhaps I could rub it. Human beings can't live without inconveniencing others.
Well, whatever. I don't... That's a weird thing to say. I just happened to find this wallet here. Didn't even see you. Good enough.
That works. Speaking from experience, people who know when to keep their mouth shut get ahead in life faster. You'll climb the ladder in no time. I'm
like 20 years your elder. Don't fucking talk to me like this. Great. Thanks so much.
Okay, I'll be going now.
Don't make too much work for me, alright? Next time I really will arrest you.
I will do it.
I know how to do it and everything. I've been through police training 17 times.
Don't you only have to go back through it if you... Never mind. Starving highway robbers in war-torn countries will murder people for a single can of food.
That's cool.
Comparatively speaking... I'm monologuing now.
Oh, Did you want the voice recorder back? Or?
A filched wallet is hardly worth whining about, right? Not that I'm dumb enough to voice the thought. When people are raised in different environments, they'll naturally look at the exact same things in very different ways. But I'm not complaining. Peaceful way of life. Not seeing things best left unseen. Ignorant of facts best left unknown. Needs to be supported from the shadows. And that's the one and only reason anyone would bother keeping trash like me around.
Oh my god, cry me a fucking river.
Back to school.
To prove to Dad that you're not a fool?
Yes. A major private investigation from the IGS Detective Agency company, profitable enough to plaster ads across giant billboards in front of Tokyo train stations. Well known for its founder, the former Sakura Damen big shot Satoru Izuka. Lately, the man's been getting a lot of face time as a security expert on news programs and such, earning plenty of free publicity for his agency. It's a well-known, respectable business. But IGS is also well-versed in shady political dealings, thanks to a tendency to offer retiring police lucrative advisory jobs. For a private business, you hear a lot of rumors about their involvement with the incidents concerning the establishment. In reality, however, they do seem to know where to draw the line. IGS claims to be a completely independent private company with no tolerance for illegal behavior, and it doesn't seem to be just a pretense.
When it cuts it off like that, you either gotta whisper it or you have to, like, fuck with the channels so, like, nothing comes out of the left ear.
Yeah. The fact that one of their employees was investigating Makina's behavior means that her enemies are still in the exploratory stages for now. Those people aren't going to harm her even if I leave them alone. The question is how long that harmless observation will continue and what comes after it.
I guess not long, because while I was messing with that guy and the cop, Makina got murdered.
Right. And Sachi did it.
Back to the Sachi route.
I decided to try and analyze the situation from the ground up. There are 4 basic questions here. Why, who, wow. How? And finally, what do I do about it? What do I do about it? Let's ask Sachi. Why is Makina being targeted?
Because she's cute.
Well, how's the council know? She was removed from her position as the successor of her family because of health problems, but now her recovery has been confirmed. Simple as that. Until now, Makina's good health hadn't been public knowledge. That was protecting her. Otherwise, the girl probably would have been targeted the moment she was discharged from the hospital. Next question, who is targeting Makina?
Is he saying these things out loud to her? Is that what's happening?
I don't know.
'Cause she's, like, reacting.
Or she's, like, trying to talk to you, but you're just, like,
Not
so lost in
listening
thought.
at all. Yeah, that's true.
Yuji, your pants are down. Should I just go ahead and start sucking? Oh, my stars! Logically speaking, it's the people who'd be inconvenienced by her return as the future head of the Irisu. In other words, the branch house or its allies. Learning that Makina had recovered, the main family attempted to murder the branch family's figurehead, her half-sister.
She's currently, like, confessing her long
Yeah.
love for you and how you were friends when you were little kids, and she can't believe you don't remember, and how her parents died, and you're just not hearing any of it.
In retaliation, the Branch family is beginning to maneuver behind the scenes, most likely aiming at removing Makina from the equation. And as for how that powerful faction inside the Irisu intends to treat Makina from now on, for the moment they're still gathering information, but once they're satisfied with the investigation, they'll probably move to take more direct action against her. Did I see a maid? Anyway, so she's staying...
What the hell was that? That was huge!
I'm anticipating they'll begin with a harassment campaign to intimidate her, but there's a definite chance that might progress into attempts at her life. But in the end, what be I doing?
Guess I'll masturbate.
The answer's not going to change.
Wait a second, why's my dick out?
No matter who I'm up against. That said, there's a possibility of this opponent choosing to come at us with force of arms. and we don't have the personnel or equipment to resist. In that case, how about seizing the initiative? Carpe diem, as they say. Better to crush cockroaches
Seize the carp.
before they hatch. Take it one step further, and it's most efficient to kill the mother roach before she can even lay her eggs. Of course.
That's gotta be what this is. You're standing there deep in thought, and like
Yeah.
people are just walking by, like, what the fuck is he doing?
If I try anything along those lines, there won't be any turning back. My employer would no doubt hunt me down, but I'd rather die keeping her safe than live as a slave to the national interest.
It's gonna take someone talking about periods or poop to snap him out of this.
Oh, or she's just gonna fucking smack him in the face.
Yeah, that'll work too.
Hey, Sister Sledge, what's wrong? We are not family. Seems like I was a little too deeply lost in thought. I didn't even notice. Oh God, I wasn't ready. Hold
Sarah
on.
Silverman.
Sure. I have a list. I started a list.
You made a list? That's cheating.
No, it isn't. Okay, you're right. It
I
is.
don't have a list.
I didn't even notice. I already read that.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me? Thank God, a different voice. The fuck?
This what? Did she just make a balloon animal?
With this remark, Sylvester the cat abruptly reaches out for my face and then tightly seizes my cheeks between her thumbs and forefingers. You're just so fucking cute. What the? Why? Why? Why are you had? What a terrible face. Maybe you was not pinching me then. I don't know what exactly you're brooding about, but you're not going to be popular with girls if you keep making such frightening faces.
Yeah, you gotta look like all sexy when you brood. You gotta look out the window and be like, the city.
Say what? Try taking a look in the mirror. Your eyes are clouded, but shining with malice. It's like staring down a wild beast.
Some girls are into that.
Goo. Men are all heasts, you know. Seems you've got the composure to crack stupid jokes at least. Tell me, did you even realize that Komine-san was trying to talk to you earlier? Sachi was? When? Just a few minutes ago. It seems she addressed you several times as you stood here. But you didn't even respond, and because you were scowling like a cornered animal, it seems she quickly grew unable to try. I see. Sorry. I got a little lost in thought. I'm not sure if bloodthirsty is quite the right word, but whatever you're doing out here is making the atmosphere throughout the dorm unpleasantly tense. I'd very much appreciate it if you tried not to glower like that around our kids. How long have I been here? We have kids?
Oh my God, is that why my dick's out?
Our kids? I mean the academy's students, not my children. You have children? No? No, I do not. I make them out of balloons.
I was gonna say, I just make little balloon animals.
No, it's a hoke. I try my best to smile, but I just can't seem to get it right. I suppose the fact that severe plaque psoriasis pinching my cheeks with renewed vigor has something to do with that. But that's not the only problem. It's this moderate to severe plaque psoriasis I suddenly have. The girl's right. I'm on edge, to the point of unconsciously projecting a menacing aura. In fact, it's pretty damn impressive that Sailor Venus managed to pinch my cheeks under those circumstances.
Is that because she's on your calendar?
Yes, I'm running out of things,
Okay,
so I'm looking around the room.
All right, sorry.
I look at her with just
I've been leaving most of them up to you.
a little admiration in my eyes. My bad. Exhaling deeply as if to clear out a mass of bad air gone stagnant in my lungs, I let the tension drain from my shoulders. I unclench my fists. And then I unclench my fists.
Sleep paralysis demon.
Been glaring at me irritably all this time. Peers deep into my eyes to confirm I've regained lucidity, but, well, I'll never be able to sleep again. All right. Cool. Then briefly nods and releases my smarting cheeks at last. I assume something's happened involving Irisu-san, yes? Why do you know that?
Because that's all we talk about. We're in that route.
While I'm a little ashamed to admit it, I recently looked a little deeper into her circumstances, and on paper, it seems she's still the future head of the Irisu, while her sister is the acting successor and nothing more. What does that mean? What do you what?
That's pretty cut and dry.
It means there were no formal resignation. There was no. She never officially stopped being the successor. But the girl's not interested in inheriting. She made that very plain to her grandfather. They don't care when that much power is involved.
Right?
And the Irisu are hardly a monolith. And surely you're aware, this isn't quite that simple. No matter how firmly the girl declares she's stepping aside, they aren't going to shrug and say, okay then, do keep in touch. Then what do we do? Well, let's see. Hold a conference in the presence of witnesses, complete the formal resignation procedures, and entrust her position to the new successor. Not that it's going to be that easy. God, you make it sound so easy.
Right?
Why not?
I think of this.
This sounds pretty straightforward. You're really fucking smart, actually. There are too many people who've placed their faith in the main house's continued control of the clan. Too many subsidiaries and foreign joint enterprises financed directly by the current leadership. They'll face serious repercussions if the main house's representatives lose sovereignty of the Irisu, and they're not going to take that sitting down.
Will they take it on all fours?
This is largely speculation on my part, but should control of the Irisu pass to the branch family at the present time, I would estimate the finance, retail, manufacturing, and export industries would stand to suffer a short-term recession of roughly 7%. 7% across the entire country? Yes, that's correct. From a global perspective, the figure would be something like 1.7%. I imagine it would provide new fuel to the global financial crisis of the last few years. Perhaps we could call it the Irisu shock?
That's lame. I'm coming up with a name.
That's racist. In other words, Makina saying no would impact the entire world? Indeed. Sometimes running away isn't an option. Sometimes the world simply won't permit it. Have you seen The Lion King? This is basically that, but with more finance involved. And Makina's still a child.
Sex in the City?
What? Why would you... Irisu-san is the main family's figurehead. Whether she's an adult or not has nothing to do with it. What feudal bullshit. They just want to use the blood in her veins. It's certainly unfortunate, but that's the fate she was born with. Is there nothing we can do about that? Why are we in like a medieval plot line?
That's how the fucking Yakuza operate. I mean, I don't know if it's actually the Yakuza, but
she
just
was
the
like,
idea of like family.
She was like a
businesses
Rothschild
and shit.
family.
Yeah.
Take the long, slow path of gradually transferring sovereignty. Perhaps in 20 years she'll be able to resign formally. The alternative would be... There's an alternative? Yes, have kids and hand it down.
Yeah.
Run away for another 3 years. 3 years? What happens in 3 years?
Y2K.
Irisu-san yielded her position to her sister 7 years ago on the grounds of poor health. If she's unable to return to her duties as the successor within a period of 10 years, she's legally deprived of her inheritance rights.
And that won't affect the economy?
In other words, if she doesn't return to her old position within the next 3 years... Meowth, that's right. Irisu-san's rights and privileges will be revoked. She'll become a normal girl. Instead of a magical girl. 3 years, huh? For me alone, disappearing for 3 years wouldn't be impossible. But if I'm taking Makina along as well, the situation almost certainly wouldn't be so simple.
We'd have to go back to that cabin, and there's no internet.
Yeah. The main house would be using all of their power to search for her, and the branch family, too, would no doubt try to take the opportunity to secure the position by assassinating Makina while she's on the run and vulnerable. At the very least, while Irisu-san is in this school, her safety has been guaranteed. By who?
Right, yeah, you don't know.
But
the principal's gonna stop them? You're not allowed in here.
Okay.
We gotta listen to her. She's got glasses.
But I don't know how much that promise will really mean in the end. I don't understand. What connection is there between the Irisu and this school? I mean, there's an Irisu in this school.
She goes here.
That's the connection.
Yeah.
It's nothing you could really call a connection, but people connected to the Branch family were responsible for Irisu-san's admission to this school. Members of the Branch family put her here. Why? Think about it. If they could isolate her in this school for 3 more years, she would be divested? Is that a word? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Of her inheritance rights, yes?
Yeah, so why even make an attempt on her then? I guess they didn't. Someone attempted on her sister. So was that
Right.
the Irisu main clan? Because there's 2 factions. There's some that
Yeah.
are behind her and some that are behind her sister.
Because they want Makina to
take
over.
to actually take the reins. So they tried to kill her sister and almost killed Makina in the process.
Right.
And then called her and went, "Hey, you need to take over." And she's like, "I don't want to." Like, too bad. If you don't, we're gonna kill you, and then your sister will take over. What?
I don't know. There's so many layers. Just take the balloon animal and run.
It just seems simpler to just let her die, honestly. Just.
And so, without even informing the main family of her release from the hospital, they quietly shuffled her off into a pleasant little cage. And that's why she's here. As a matter of fact, the main family only discovered her presence here very recently because of you.
Ass.
Supposedly, the Branch family, I mean, kind of, you sent her out into the wild.
Yeah, that's true. You made her get a job.
The Branch family even arranged for a body double in the hospital she'd been staying in earlier. It was a fairly well-laid plan.
It was Sachi.
My head's starting to hurt. You're more knowledgeable about this than I am.
That's impossible. This is bullshit. Girls can't know more things than me.
It's because she pays a subscription to that important people Facebook.
Yeah, she's on 4chan or what the fuck ever it is. The dark web.
Mm-hmm. So in other words, as long as she stays in this school under the Branch family's control, Makina's safe. Is that what you're telling me? It's what I would have told you. Up until her sister was nearly killed in by a car bomb, at least. But the status quo's already been broken. Exactly. All bets are off.
Ooh.
I'm all in. When did you get cards?
Why is my penis out?
No choice but to crush the eggs, after all. There you go again with that frightening face. Shall I give your cheeks another pinch?
It was kind of fun.
I do, yeah. Look, Switch 2, Keep calm. This isn't a problem you can solve on your own. You do understand that, yes?
I'm sorry, do you know who I am?
I'm your sidekick.
Bangs McCoy.
Yeah, I understand, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop trying. So stubborn. She's the one in the world that What? She's the one thing in the world I decide to protect of my own will, not because someone ordered me to. I can't very well back down, can I?
I mean, she paid you to do it.
And you were like, whoa, 70 million.
I guess I'll do it.
If I said I envied Irisu-san just a little, I imagine it would come off as rather insensitive, wouldn't it?
So I guess I won't say it. I'll just think it.
You better not say that in front of her, at least. What's she gonna do? I'll fucking stab her. In any case, this isn't a problem you can resolve in a day or two. For the moment, fortunately, the head and Branch families seem to have their hands full throwing accusations back and forth over the negotiating table.
So he's like, "Oh, I guess I'd have nothing to worry about then." And then she gets fucking assassinated the next day. I guess I was wrong. Don't believe everything you read on the internet.
It was from the 8th floor. I knew it. My information is admittedly limited. Is it?
It was. Since when?
But I'll inform you of any changes I'm able to detect. How about watching and waiting for the time being? I suppose so. You can use my room if... No, wait, where are you going?
Oh, dang it. He blacked out again.
Damn it. God damn it. Just as
Severance.
Package
Yes.
said, there are no immediate changes in Makina's everyday life. She's able to follow her usual routine without incident.
No, that show. Severance. I mean, it's
yeah.
it's based on Severance Package, but yeah, it's where people can sever their brain So they're a different person at work, and then they don't remember in their real life what happened at work, and vice versa.
That's pretty much my day-to-day life at work.
Yeah, just turn your brain off.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then I'm like, oh, wow, work happened. Cool.
Oh, sweet. Where'd this money come from? Why is my penis out?
On the days when she works at the bakery, I quietly follow her on the way over, and in the evenings, I wait outside to walk her home. It's starting to become a normal part of my day. When I slip out of the school's front gate a little after Makina, I never fail to spot a certain silver station wagon following her. Presumably more observers from that IGS detective agency. The first time I casually glanced in through the side window, I noticed that a man holding the steering wheel wasn't that Naoki Ihara guy who'd screwed up last time.
Oops, I accidentally ruined his life.
Idiots clumsy enough to get their wallets stolen while following a target presumably get reassigned to pushing paper around. Felt a small twinge of conscience. Passed quickly, though. I don't care.
Fuck that dude.
I don't know who the new guy in charge is, but since he was given the job after that dunce failed, he's most likely a pretty competent investigator. On top of which, we've now got 2 men assigned to the case. From what, spoiler alert tells me, the people employing IGS are indeed connected to the Branch family. In short, they're probably trying to determine whether Makina is obediently keeping her head down, looking for any evidence of her coming into contact with the main family. The silver station wagon follows a good distance behind Makina until reaching the shopping district. At which point, the man sitting in the passenger seat gets out. While the driver takes the wheel around to park in an hourly lot on the other side of the station, then leans the seat back and lies down.
Nap time.
It's what they call a package drop at my workplace.
It's when you win at cards and teabag someone.
Since they've got 2 men on the job now, the observer and his driver seem to have a clear division of labor. It makes it easier to deal with sudden or unforeseen developments. Might seem slightly excessive just to keep an eye on Makina, but the bulk of their work actually seems to be investigating the people who enter the bakery where she works. The owner and his wife would already have been thoroughly checked. So instead, they're photographing every single customer who steps by with a digital camera.
But only the women, and only from the neck down.
And they seem to have this mirror placed on the ground.
Yeah. It's like taped to their shoes.
They keep it up continuously from 9 in the morning until later than 5 in the evening, when Makina goes out to deliver bread. The man in the car heads over to her destination, while his partner continues watching for customers in her absence. Seems a little dangerous to have her continue her job.
Yeah, well, his whole thing is he wants her to act like she's unaware that anything is happening, which I guess technically she is unaware of most of what's happening. But you would only do that if you're doing it as bait. And since he's already aware that she's being followed by another security team, there's no reason to have her act as bait, you know?
Doesn't seem like it.
But I mean, I guess you wouldn't want to tell her because then she would tip off the security team that she knows that they're following.
Right.
But what does that harm? Because they're obviously not going after her.
Doesn't seem that way.
I don't know. This seems like convoluted for no reason. But I mean, look at the game we're talking about. So
it must be ridiculously dull work, but they're very consistent and conscientious. Clearly, a private detective's life isn't all thrills.
Nah, it's mostly adultery and pets.
Sometimes simultaneously. But despite this obsessive investigation, they haven't found any suspicious individuals coming into contact with Makina. There's a reason, besides stubbornness, that the Branch family hasn't called off the surveillance at this point. September speculates it might have something to do with me. Looking into the people around Makina would naturally mean they've pursued a thorough round of inquiries into the identities of those related to her school as well. The principal would be first on the list, but it no doubt included the visiting lecturers and the contractors who maintain the facilities.
Spirited Away.
Amane, Michiru, and Sachi can't have been an exception. And among all these, there's only one individual whose investigation would have turned up absolutely nothing. Myself, Kazumi Juicy Yuji. Of course, I do have a profile. Anyone with a bit of knowledge about these things would find us suspicious at a single glance. But there aren't any conclusive flaws or contradictions. My papers are clean and beautiful as driven snow.
Oh shit, they found my Grindr account.
There must be someone over there who didn't like that overly tidy, blatantly prepared personal history. That would seem the most likely explanation for the way they're dragging out this fruitless surveillance of Makina's surroundings. When am I going to herm?
Fruitless of Grisaia.
I haven't hermed all day.
I know. I can feel it building.
They're probably...
Just edging that herm.
Yeah, I was say it feels good if you don't herm for a while.
Yeah. You get a bigger herm after that.
They're probably aware that this investigation isn't getting anywhere, but they're not prepared to back down until they get a read on me.
Just taking his time, taking zinc supplements so he can have a nice thick herm.
I'm sure Igus isn't too broken up with the state of affairs about it. I mean, since they're no doubt getting paid well for their dull but easy work. On the other hand, the Branch family must be getting pretty aggravated by the deadlock.
Yeah, that game sucked.
If we can't finish the investigation, why not just remove the need to investigate? I don't know who made that call, but today the routine is finally broken. In the early evening, I'm making my way over to the bakery to pick up Makina when I notice a black sedan surging up the road ahead. The classless roaring of its exhaust system... Oh, it stopped.
Oh, they've come and gone. She's dead.
Drawing louder and louder as it approaches. That's not the only reason the car stands out. All the side windows are covered with dark black film, and it's so low to the ground it's probably a cut spring. Zigzagging across the road to avoid a manhole cover, the car screeches to a halt in front of Makina's bakery. Before I can do anything but start in surprise, the window on the passenger side abruptly slides open. You have got to be shitting me. As I take a first hurried step forward, my scalp burning with a sudden surge of panic, the muzzle of an automatic appears from inside the car.
Yeah, see, I told you. Why was you also worried about a sniper? They could just do a fucking drive-by.
God damn it! It wasn't. I was worried about the snipe.
This isn't the 8th floor at all.
I've been too happy-go-lucky. Maybe I am wrong about some things.
Ugh, really?
It's not so complicated from their perspective, is it? Eliminating Makina solves their problem in a single step. And of all the cliched, simplistic ways to do it, I hadn't considered the damn possibility.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, she's dead. Just holding up a piece of bread that, I baked this bread, but it was so hard, it protected me.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was Sachi, but...
It's like a piece of chalk.
For a moment that seemed to last a year, all I can do is curse my negligence.
Ah, if only it lasted 3 years, then everything would be okay.
I found this bread underneath the... It was hard as a rock. As the attackers speed past, I turn to memorize the number and make up their car. There's a sticker on the rear window with the words coexist, under a crude sketch of a skull.
I guess not.
Cherry bomb in its teeth. Team Blood Cherry? A biker gang, but in cars.
I was
a car gang.
That's probably not a biker gang. They probably would have done it on bikes.
It's also possible they're pros in a stolen vehicle, pretending to be gangsters as a cover, but that's not what matters right now.
I was going to say, let's think about it a little longer. He's so bad at this. He had us all fooled that he was like this amazing assassin, but he's fucking terrible at this.
Oh, God. Whew. Oh. Papa! Oh, no biker gang. Whew. I can't breath. Makina, you're all right. Any injuries?
No, they hit me with a squirt gun.
Nope. Remember I got that small hitbox. No, what just happened? What? Hold on. He's talking about your boobies. Okay.
I love that that's what you have to say and put you in that voice.
No, what just happened? I heard something noisy outside, and then all of a sudden it's like a bang, bang, bang. The window of the shop just shattered. Calm down. It was just some idiots from a biker gang screwing around. More importantly, you weren't injured? I didn't see any bikes.
So they rolled up to do a drive-by with an automatic weapon and didn't shoot enough to hit her?
Just sucked at it?
Yeah, I mean, you could just riddle the entire front of the shop. Are you really worried about hitting bystanders at that point?
Yeah. I was in the kitchen in the back,
With Dinah.
so I'm fine. Dinah's dead. But what's going on? A gang?
He'll never strum the banjo again.
And then Jimmy was cracking corn, but I don't care. In any case, let's get back inside for the moment. That policeman's gonna arrive and... You again.
Yeah.
A drive-by shooting is a lot like a bombing.
Yeah, if only I'd considered that it wasn't sneaky for them to try to bomb the other... I mean, it could be two different factions. We're not sure what's going on, but it's just,
Right.
It annoys me that his first thought was like, obviously they're going to try to sniper all, like, stealthily. Why?
Yeah, apparently not. By which, I mean, the safest place you can be is one that's been hit already. There aren't many idiots who will plug another bullet right... Oh, fuck, they're back! Right where they...
And I got hit by lightning 2 times.
They fired the first one. Alternatively, I hit the Powerball twice. When I enter the bakery with Makina, the owner is cradling a telephone against his shoulder.
They shot my phone!
Desperately explaining that shots were fired through his window. From the tone of his voice, it's clear he's talking to the police.
No, he's taking to the police.
Yeah. The nearest neighborhood station is right outside Mishima Cape Station. Not even 200 meters away as the crow flies. It's probably not far. They should be here in minutes.
Unfortunately, it'll take a little longer because they're not crows.
Please don't let it be that guy again.
I am hoping that because I forgot his voice already.
At times like these, my bad premonitions are depressingly accurate. Yeah, you've been very accurate up to this point.
Yeah, you're a genius.
You're like 10 for 10.
God, just put Steven Sondheim on the fucking case.
No
She's
shit.
way better at this.
Last thing I want to deal with right now is my good friend Officer Sourface and his usual barrage of sarcasm and suspicion. I mean, you're literally like the criminal half the time. Under the circumstances, I was expecting a little resistance if Makina tried to leave as usual. But when the girl asks, "Can I go home now?" her employer just nods and says, "Good night." Yeah, they're just gonna fire her. Get her out of here.
Yeah.
It's fucking two instances in a row where their shop has almost been...
Right. Like, attempts on my life before you were hired, 0.
Now that the terror has faded, the man seems to have worked up a good bit of outrage over the damage to his shop. He's too busy shouting at the policeman on the other end of the line to worry about anything else. All right, let's go home. Can we get ice cream?
I guess.
Yeah. No, we don't have... I was almost just murdered. Oh, fuck, come on!
Can we do Froyo for once?
Despite her dopey personality, Makina's got sharp instincts. She's surely figured out by now that the bullets fired into the shop weren't a random prank. A gloomy expression settled onto her face. I fall into step next to the girl and then wrap an arm around her shoulders, pull her close in a casually protective gesture.
It's hard to walk like this.
4 bullets were fired in the direction of the shop.
From an automatic? So you, like, barely touch the trigger?
They pull up. Let's get out of here!
Yeah. You don't even, like, pepper the building. You just got her. I didn't see her. No, I definitely got her.
The first hit their signboard.
Oh my god, this guy's fucking terrible.
Second and third penetrated the glass in the front show windows, ultimately lodging in the rear walls of the bakery, and the fourth hit a plastic bucket in the alleyway outside.
Jesus Christ. I told you should have slowed down more.
Most likely they weren't fired at any particular target. The point of the shooting was to intimidate and threaten the people inside. In other words, it was simple harassment.
Okay, fine. Fine, I rescind my arguments.
Right?
But still.
A warning to the effect of, we could kill you at any time if we needed you dead.
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's us only hitting the building, the giant building twice. That shows you that we could kill you at any moment.
Luckily, they did that because otherwise Yuji would be firmly placed in his they're gonna snipe her position.
Exactly.
Of course, the intent of the attackers doesn't change the fact that potentially deadly bullets were fired at her store. It's no consolation in the slightest. Should this simple but effective threat convince Makina to quit her job at the bakery, I'd minimize her contact with the outside world. It would minimize her contact with the outside world and reduce the time wasted on fruitless investigations. For the Branch family, it was probably a minor risk well worth taking. Are you alright? Makina's been trudging along silently at my side for some time, looking down at the pavement below. She hasn't said a word since we left the bakery.
We still haven't got ice cream. This sucks. And I always end up causing trouble for the people around me. I'm just too rich and famous. My life's so hard.
If there's a single person in the world who isn't causing trouble for someone.
Yeah, but they're not rich and famous like me. And I think I'm about the only kid who gets trouble like bullets through your windows.
Yeah, sure.
Statistically, not the time.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to like an inner city.
there was a driver in that car with her sister. Not that I'm going to remind her.
Yeah, maybe I should just go home after all. That way I wouldn't make trouble for anybody, right?
Maybe so, but you don't want to go back, do you?
Yeah, but I like living.
Well, then you don't have to.
Yeah, but...
Not to worry, I'll make sure this sort of thing doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
Now they're gonna snipe you.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but how are you gonna do that? You haven't protected me once. What are you planning, Papa? Just stop it. Just don't do anything dangerous. Please don't.
It's nothing particularly dangerous. I'm just gonna get the police to give this their full attention.
The police?
The police are an organization that exists to keep law-abiding citizens safe and secure. Only normal to rely on them at times like these, right?
No, fucking ACAB.
I thought you meant, like, the band. Anyways. Yeah. Don't stand so close to me.
There's nothing to worry about.
I mean, that fits for this fucking situation, too. I mean, you're not a teacher, but still.
Leave it to me.
Yeah.
To be honest, my employer has a tendency not to view relying on the police favorably, and I don't personally enjoy begging them for favors myself.
Yeah, they like the cars more.
He really hates that one policeman. But the organization exists, and it's powerful enough once it gets moving. Not making use of them would be foolish. Once we've made our way back to the Diurn, I entrust the clearly depressed Makina to Komine Sachi.
What the fuck, you now? You talk to me?
Yeah.
I
She just shows her. So what'd you decide? What? On our talk, you were thinking about it. So, yes or no?
I fell asleep. You fell asleep?
Was it 17 pages? Front and back.
It was 3 a.m. I also considered the option of leaving this to Amine, but I decided our class representative would be the better choice this time. She hasn't talked in a while.
Yeah, right.
My reasoning concerns what you might call Sachi's peculiar virtues. Specifically, a certain quickness on the uptake, characteristic of an experienced maid. What if you just told her to not let Makina die? She'd have to do it.
Right, and she'd probably be better at it than you.
Right. The modesty to refrain from asking too many questions. When I abruptly show up and ask her to look after Makina, the girl doesn't request even the briefest of explanations.
Just sweetly. Yes, please leave the rest to me.
He like goes away for a while and comes back, and the place is like surrounded. She's got like on lockdown.
Yeah. She's fucking ripped the minigun off of a military helicopter. And...
Just like loaded with turrets.
You'll never take me alive, you fuckers.
People investigating. Like, I go to school here.
When is home ec?
Homecoming's gonna be lit.
I don't know what that said.
Oh, I thought you read it already. Sorry.
She just nods. Yeah, maybe I did. I don't remember. Things wouldn't have gone nearly this smoothly with Amine. When it comes to Makina, the woman's something of a worrywart. Like a mother, you might say. She wouldn't be able to help barraging us with questions. Although I'm sure Amine'd eventually understand the matter's best left alone, it'd bother her so much that she'd end up getting gloomy too. That might leave Makina feeling even worse than before.
Yeah, if Makina gets murdered and then Amine's sad, that's two bad things.
I'll have to explain what happened to Amine and the others in due time, but for the moment, leaving it to Sachi is probably the optimal choice.
Because she's the cutest.
Maki-chan, do you want to come to my room? Shall I make you some chocolate milk?
No, Chucky milk! That's the thing, Sachin.
Sachi turns around with the flutter of her long skirt, gently rests a supportive hand on Makina's back, and heads for her room. For just an instant, the class representative looks back over her shoulder, her face expressionless as ever, and fixes her clear eyes on mine. You never did answer.
I'd like to hear the circumstances later.
She doesn't make a sound, but I can hear the words clearly enough from her eyes.
The scales have fallen from them.
Oh, I nod briefly, and then make my way up the stairs and head towards a certain room.
Ooh, it's the gooning room.
It's the bathroom. I smell like shit. Oh, no!
Oh. Spare ribs.
Ooh, it's me. And who's that? Me, your grandson. I'm in trouble. Please transfer 1 million yen to the following bank account. Please take the scam somewhere else. I'm busy. Sorry to interrupt, but please open the door. This is urgent. No. There's a brief moment of what seems like hesitation on her part, but soon the lock clacks open.
Well, what is this urgent business of yours then? You're not my grandson.
Or nephew, or whatever the hell he said.
Grandson.
Great, yeah, okay. I'm bleeding from my crotch. And it just won't stop.
Okay, that's always happening.
Got
What?
any extra sanitary napkins? Hey, I was just kidding. Come back. Obviously, I can't start my period.
Next time you make a stupid joke like that, I'll make it reality.
Okay, sorry. This is serious, all right? Please hear me out and don't cut my crotch.
Go ahead then. What is it?
Let me borrow your computer.
No. What?
But I want to watch One Night in Paris.
You
What
have
year
Express.
is it?
You have Express VPN, and I can't view it on any of my devices. There's something I need to look into. I'd like to be alone in the room, if that's possible.
Okay. You are going to the gooning room.
What are you planning to investigate?
Them titties.
Kind of a long story. The effects of tiny Asians. Never mind.
Yeah.
You expect me to agree without any explanation whatsoever.
I was going to figure out if my next fetish was like feet or German fart porn.
It's one or the other. There's no
I
in
hope
between.
it's feet. For the first time ever, I hope it's feet.
Point taken. Okay, I'll give you the executive summary. Someone took a few pot shots at a bakery where Makina works. The bakery, not a
Is
bakery.
that like a new dessert or?
It sounds like it could be.
They stole some pot shots?
What? I haven't read about this on the internet yet.
Fortunately, no one was injured, except for Dinah,
Poor Dinah.
the phone, apparently.
Yeah.
But it's most likely harassment from the Branch family to make her quit the job.
Ah, so they've finally begun to take action.
That's the theory, but I can't say for sure who is responsible yet. That's what I want to borrow your PC to investigate.
Okay, but if I get on an FBI list because of you, all right then. But do me a favor and
Yeah.
don't access any strange websites.
Do me a favor and don't check the bookmark.
I was gonna say, I've got a bunch bookmarked.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I'll let you know when I'm done. So go kill some time reading the porn magazines under my bed or something.
You're ridiculous. And she goes straight to his room. Don't worry, it's all feet.
That was a joke, yes?
Why don't you take a look and see?
Very well then. I definitely will. Just so you know, if there really are any, I'm gonna burn them.
No, those are collector's items.
Feel free. I give Baseballs a little wave of she stalks out of the room. Wonder what sort of expression she'd make if I changed her PC wallpaper to a picture of my dick.
And it's all bloody.
Unfortunately, there's no time for such absurd pranks at the moment. But that would have been a good one, a classic.
High five me.
I switch on the notebook computer sitting at her desk, then hunt around in my breast pocket for Jib's business card as the machine boots up. Underneath a simple but professional logo consisting of the letters A and C overlapping, Animal Crossing.
Yes.
The words Asahi Clean LLC, Second Public Relations Section, and Harudera Yuria, Section Chief, are printed in embossed type. In a smaller font below, there's an email address and a URL for the company's webpage. Once the computer loads its desktop, I immediately open a web browser. Type in the address. Oops, I forgot an incognito.
I type in the A and it auto-completes assblasters.com or .jp, I guess.
Yeah, that's where the German fart porn is. On apparently Japanese websites.
Well, they don't use .com. They use
Yeah.
I think it's JP in Japan.
I think so. And just as you would expect, a typical corporate one page for the Asahi Clean company appears. Normally, I'd only be using this through our company's secure international telecommunications network, but I want them to come after her instead.
Actually, I have a question about that. If you're in the country, do you have to type that, or does it do com?
I think it's still just .uk and .jp and.
Why isn't it .us?
Because we chose com.
Because we're idiots.
Because we came up with it.
I guess.
We invented it, so we didn't want to do .us.
Yeah.
We wanted with commercial.
Maybe US was taken by Yugoslavia.
Good point. Fun fact and trivia knowledge there for you. It's commercial, not company, like a lot of people think.
Yeah. I mean, it pretty much means the same thing.
It does. I just always used to think it meant company, which I'm sure a lot of people did.
That's one of those things that, like, that's what they... I think that's one of those things that, like, that's how you learn it, is everybody around in the world is just like, it's company. It means company. Because it's like company or organization.
Yeah.
For, like, .org.
Right. Or business. Or,
BIZ. Which is not
But then again, they also say it's GIF, so...
I remember for a while they were trying to make every porn site use .XXX.
Yeah, which...
I was like, that's not gonna matter.
But even using a normal public connection, it's possible to get access to our database through an emergency ID and login.
Admin password.
However, the company's not quite so happy-go-lucky as to hand out such lovely authorization to a mere part-timer like myself. I click on the small user ID field in the upper right of the page and enter Julia000393, and then move my cursor to the password field. At this point, I pause to stroke my chin thoughtfully. Oops, I forgot what it was.
Julia Gulia.
Oh, well then. Oh.
Okay.
Time for some spank bank material.
Right?
Closing my eyes, I recall Jib's body in all of its vulgar glory.
It happens every time I close my eyes.
Maybe I will take a picture of my crotch for the...
God damn.
I've been out of touch for quite some time, but I don't think these numbers will have changed that easily.
Oh, he's going to use her measurements.
Maybe not. 2, 96, 56, 90, 55. Okay. It's probably Japanese measurements, yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I get. Well, no.
Yeah,
172?
Yeah, centimeters, probably. Height.
But measurements are always done in that, aren't they? Now, hang on.
No, they have we're the only ones that measure in, like...
Yeah, but for, like, body measurements.
Yeah, I think it's always... They have higher numbers because it's centimeters. I tap in the figures as I recall them and then click the login button. I'm instantly bounced back with a brusque, incorrect user ID and password error. Huh? Shit, no good. She must have put on some weight. Does it update with her?
Jesus Christ. I read that as Misty Ping. I was like, what kind of weird fucking password is that? Sorry. Like, my brain just, like, freaked out.
It could work. Misty Ping the password 3 times will trigger an automatic warning to the company. And I've only got 2 more shots at this. Okay, I have to picture her naked now. 172, 96, 58, 92, 57. How's that? The moment I click the login button for the second time, the hard disk begins grinding away intensely as a new page automatically opens virus detection software to scan the computer. Bingo! Ha ha ha. She better watch that ice cream have it.
Why would you use your measurements for your
So
password?
it constantly changes, I guess?
Yeah,
But then
I
why would-
guess. But then you would have to constantly know your measurements.
You would have to know. Yeah. After a minute or so, the browser window changes to a dry functional terminal screen. Empty except for a number of labeled tabs at the top.
The only time I've ever known mine is when I'm buying clothes that are like, here's the sizes, and it's like the measurements. It's like, just give me just say a size. I know what size I am. I don't need to know my fucking measurements to. It's a fucking shirt.
I select vehicle lookup and then quickly enter the car's manufacturer, model, color, and license plate number in the frame that pops up. The results, no corresponding vehicle amount. I've been more or less expecting something of the sort would happen, so it's not particularly discouraging. This time I try a search using only the license plate number, but again the database gives me nothing. Seems they weren't using a license plate borrowed from another vehicle, but instead a counterfeit with a random mismatch of a number. Like Misty Ping. In which case,
man.
the only remaining hint would be that sticker in the rear window, I suppose. Wonder if searching under other might turn up something. Just as I'm pondering the next step, my cell phone begins to ring shrilly inside the pocket of my uniform. You've set off national security and...
Yeah, like you're about to get swatted.
Mm-hmm. The caller should probably go without saying at this point. Hey there, JB. Still hot as hell. I just pictured you in my mind.
Still fat as fuck. Stop eating ice cream.
Yeah.
Hey, Yuji. You're accessing our land from the outside, aren't you?
Oh no.
I pressed the button.
Oh yes.
Oh, there it is.
Ooh, we got one in this
God,
episode.
We get in the episode now.
Just actually end the episode. There was a little something I wanted to look into.
How many times do I have to tell you not to use my ID?
Okay, let's not get caught up in semantics.
You're right.
Not to worry, I won't let anyone know you've gained some weight lately. Our little secret.
That's not what I'm worried about here.
You
I
should
keep
be.
pressing buttons. Sorry.
Are you sure about that?
Wait, that doesn't mean it's okay for you to start telling people I gained weight, you know. I mean, I didn't gain any weight in the first place. Well, they make you switch passwords every once in a while. I have to change it up somehow, so I just increased the numbers a little.
Who are you making excuses to here? You!
Well, what were you trying to investigate?
A motorcycle club that drives cars named Blood Cherry. Skull with a bomb in its mouth as a logo. Pretty badass, actually. Probably affiliated with local organized crime.
That's just a band.
Ah, shit!
God, interact with the culture sometime.
They're like the second most popular band in Japan.
You know, there's hardly any reason to go out of your way to log in illegally for something that simple. Wouldn't it have been easier just to ask me or Google?
Well, probably so, but I have to make everything impossible. It's not directly connected to my work for the company, so I was just trying to show a little restraint.
Plus, then I couldn't sexually harass my roommate. Or not roommate, but classmate.
Restraint.
What's with the tone of exhausted disbelief? You won't find many men more tactful than I.
Yes, you're very manly. I'm Blood Cherry, as in cherry bomb. Cherry bomb, right? Alright, I'll look it up for you.
Herm! I'm just letting him slip loose now.
She just brings out the herms.
Appreciate it.
When do you need this information?
Sooner the better, right now, if possible.
Right now?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, look, you...
Look, Jib, I tried to do it myself because I didn't want to make you sigh like that.
Unbelievable. Alright then, I'll do it now. Will immediately do, or do you need it sooner?
Yeah, actually, 5 seconds ago would have been great if you had just avoided all that nonsense. Can you handle
I'm
that?
actually going to murder you.
I'm sorry, what do you think the Central Intelligence Division does for a living? Of course I can do it.
Sorry about this. You have my undying gratitude.
So you're always sane, although you sure don't act like it.
Don't go stress eat. I'm always grateful to you, Jib. After all, now that Asuka's gone, you're the only family I have left.
I'll email you the results in 12 minutes.
Thanks, Mommy.
That's a fucking low blow bringing up our dead friend.
Thanks, Julia Gulia. It's not a lie. I really am grateful to her. Just like to pick at the ladies, you know? When Asako died and I nearly lost sight of the reason I was alive, somehow or another, Julia gave me the courage I needed to get back on my feet. Precisely 12 minutes later, an email arrives in my inbox from a certain punctual German.
It's a fart.
Yay! It's a fart.
I guess this is my new fetish.
Oh, no.
All right, that's an episode.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And it needs to be because I really have to pee. All right. So we've learned nothing.
No, not really.
That's
Makina's life is in danger a lot.
Yeah, and well, the people who want her to take back over are causing a ruckus to get her to take back over, while the other, but also are probably the ones that tried to assassinate her sister. So the other side probably hasn't done anything to her yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Except, kill her father.
It's all confusing.
Of course. That's the point. And it's all going to roll into this nice little package while they're having sex. Because that's definitely coming soon, right? I keep saying that, but it's got to be coming soon.
Probably because it doesn't seem like it should anytime soon. So I'm going to say
that's
probably
the perfect
yes.
time for it to happen.